Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. Leading the news tonight, Tasmania has reported its worst day of the pandemic with a record high 26 new cases. More than half were infected in New South Wales as their numbers surged towards 6,000 a day. Health officials here are not ruling out again closing the border if the situation worsens.
There are just 2 sleeps until Christmas, but today's COVID case numbers aren't the gift Tasmanians had been hoping for. Infections doubling overnight, 26 new cases recorded, bringing the total to 52.
With all those people now in quarantine.
It's Tasmania's worst day of daily cases since the pandemic began.
3 cases so far are household contacts, 1 is an international arrival and the rest are interstate arrivals.
Symptoms have so far been mild, just 1 person currently being treated in hospital.
After presenting in respect of an unrelated other medical condition, my understanding is that they had a minor fall.
More than half of the new cases acquired their infections in New South Wales. Case numbers soaring in that state today as mask mandates return. Tasmania not ruling out a potential border closure if the situation worsens.
The critical thing for managing all those suite of control measures is how the Tasmanian health system and hospital system is managing the cases.
There is some good news.
We've not identified a case in Tasmania that appeared to have come from an unknown source within Tasmania.
But that might not last long. Health officials say it's likely we'll see occasional community cases in the coming days.
Anyone with a sniffle should get tested. If you've got symptoms, please get a PCR test.
Tasmania has now ordered an additional 100,000 rapid antigen tests that people could take at home, while triage areas for patients are now being set up outside of our hospitals.
Today the Royal is testing this area to ensure the operational functionality and staff familiarisation.
Another precaution now in place for when we see community transmission. Next Side's 7 Tasmania News.
He was a keen gamer who was kind, caring and loving. That's how Zane Milos is being remembered. He was one of 6 children killed in the Hillcrest Jumping Castle tragedy. The 12-year-old was laid to rest following an emotional service which touched on Zane's love for adventure and obsession with dinosaurs.
His coffin draped in a video game design, Zane Milos' passion for gaming is just one part of a young man this community loved so much. Remembered as kind, loving, strong and fierce, a rock for Mother Georgie.
I was so young when I had you, only 15, but now I know why. You grew up with me. You held my hands and kissed my face in all the hard times.
She described him as the man of the house who finally grew his wings.
I love you, Zaney.
A love shared by his auntie.
I watched you when you took your first breath, and you were the one that made me an auntie.
The Year 6 student was among those killed when a wind gust swept a jumping castle at Hillcrest Primary School 10 metres into the air. 2 survivors left fighting for life have now moved out of intensive care. Zane had an appetite for adventure.
Look, Mum, no hands.
And was obsessed with dinosaurs. He was even called Jurassic Zane.
We used to get very annoyed with Jurassic World kids series for not having the dinosaurs with the right features or their right sizing or the correct time period with the other dinosaurs. It was the little things.
Tributes came from Zane's fellow video gamers from around the world.
Zane was a funny man. He would always do funny dinosaur sounds.
And at Devonport's Bluff Beach, where paddlers place flower petals on the water before reflecting on a disaster which has touched so many.
And if it's not direct, the people that have no connections can feel that as well, whether it's statewide, Australia-wide or even overseas.
Also acknowledged in today's service were the first responders, the Hillcrest Primary School and the people of Devonport who have opened their hearts and shared in this grief. A grief so evident as hundreds of mourners followed Zane from the chapel, remembering a boy with a big smile and an even bigger heart. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Mental health services for Tasmanian veterans are set to be boosted with an extra $2.5 million of funding announced by the federal government. The money will be rolled out to branches across the state, including in Launceston, where support and advocacy programs are being enhanced to help members.
It will go a long way to completing a lot of projects that have been underway for a number of years, but in particular to really clean up and how we deliver our services to the veteran community.
They're the most important thing that we're here to do. That's why the RSL exists.
The funding will also be used to establish a veteran wellbeing centre in Burnie. A Flinders Island man is in a serious condition following a single vehicle ATV rollover. The 30-year-old went to the Whitemark Hospital last night complaining of abdominal pain after the incident. After he deteriorated, he was airlifted to the Launceston General Hospital. He remains in a serious but stable condition. Investigations are continuing into a house fire in central Launceston this afternoon. Firefighters took an hour and a half to wrestle control of the blaze. Traffic was banked up as multiple units were dispatched to try and fight the fire, which started just after 2. Fire officers say the smoke billowing from the property was toxic. A cause has not yet been determined. A rare and threatened species of fish has been spotted in Tasmanian waters for the first time in more than 20 years. The pink handfish was captured on this underwater camera in the Tasman Fracture Marine Park. It was recently listed as endangered by the state government. Parks Australia and the University of Tasmania behind the find, describing it as a needle in a haystack discovery. After a last-minute delay, Australia's new Antarctic icebreaker has officially left Hobart on its first voyage south. The public gathered on the waterfront to see off the RSV Noyena shortly after 3 this afternoon. The ship was scheduled to depart earlier this week, but was delayed due to a technical issue. The 67 expeditioners and crew on board now officially beginning their 5-week voyage to Casey and Davis stations. The Tamar Valley Power Station will not be mothballed after Hydro and Gas Pipelines Tasmania came to a crucial agreement. Hydro had initially told the gas company it didn't require the facility to be kept online, but the two have now agreed to maintain connection. Labor, who had been campaigning for the decision to be reversed, has welcomed the news, saying the delay has caused unnecessary anxiety. It's unclear how long the agreement is for. An additional 600 Tasmanians are being urged to roll up their sleeves and donate blood and plasma this Christmas. The national campaign is celebrating the community's ability to give the gift of life this festive season.
Your blood may go towards road trauma this Christmas, but also for cancer patients that are in hospital that have those regular treatments that they need across this time. It's really important that they receive the blood products.
The community is also being reminded to turn up to their appointment as the number of no-shows reached a record high, with half of donors not doing so.
After a lacklustre start, Matthew Wade is confident the Hurricanes will soon kick into gear. He says the side is having the opposite problem to previous years, where the Hurricanes have started well before petering out around finals. With the team 1 win from 4 games, Wade is tipping an aggressive approach from the batsmen against the Melbourne Stars tomorrow night.
I think it's 50 or 60 metre boundary out that side of the hill, so the spectators might want to bring their hard hats over there. I reckon they might see some balls tomorrow.
Andre Russell will line up for the Stars, but isn't sure of his Christmas plans just yet.
I haven't got invited as yet to any Christmas dinner or anything, but, you know, that's fine. I'll just, you know, we're like a day ahead of Jamaica. So, you know, the following day I'll make my calls and do what I have to do.
Great shades. The game is on from 3:30 tomorrow at Blunston Arena. The Jack Jumpers have blown a 9-point fourth quarter lead against the Sydney Kings with an ill-timed shooting slump. Offensive struggles continue to plague the team as they ended their 3-game road trip without a win.
Searching for their first road win of the season, the Jack Jumpers got to work quickly in Sydney.
That's a lovely start from Josh Majette.
The JJs looked in control for 3 quarters, up by 9 heading into the last term.
That is too much space for a man who shoots the basketball that well from outside.
But there's been a sting in the tail of most Jack Jumpers games this season, the team nursing a poor record in fourth quarters, and it was no different here.
Vasiljevic fires away.
It was the Kings who were on the march, draining 11 unanswered points to hit the lead with 6 minutes to go.
Nice pass, bullet for Martin. Kings in front.
Wani Swakala-Bullock putting the finishing touches on a 12-point win.
Wani Swakala-Bullock.
Clearly feeling the 4-game losing streak, coach Scott Roth was testy after the game when asked what caused the shooting slump.
I don't know. I'll have to look at the video. What do you think? They don't pay me to think, mate. And I don't get paid to think either.
Left ruining another offensive capitulation, scoring only one field goal in the final term.
Yeah, 3 quarters I thought we played very well, just in general, how I envisioned this group to be, and it got away from us in the fourth, and you know, it's a lesson learned, unfortunately.
Stringing together 4 good quarters the key as they travel back to Tasmania to host the Breakers on Sunday. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian AFLW star Ellie Gavalis is gearing up for another big year in the North Melbourne system. The Hobart product has been working hard in the lead-up and is looking forward to playing matches in her hometown.
Lacing up the boots for another season.
Gavalis in the front. She's had a red letter day. She gets a third.
Tasmania's Ellie Gavalis is beaming with pride to once again wear her North Melbourne colours.
It means the world, yeah, being able to play for a club that's affiliated with my hometown. So, yeah, it's a great club, so really, really happy and proud to be part of it.
Now back at home for a Christmas break, the hard-working midfielder is just weeks away from the first hit out in the AFLW competition.
It's been really nice to have like an uninterrupted training in pre-season. So, yeah, it's so good having everyone around, and we're really lucky.
With her body primed for matchday fitness, Gavalis expects the Kangaroos to make an impact on the field.
Like, my focus this year is just to play my role as much as possible, and hopefully, yeah, playing every game, but, you know, just wanting the team's success this year.
Ellie will take to the field in round 1 against the Cats at Arden Street, with this season marking her 3rd year in the AFLW competition.
It's a long off season, and yeah, but round 1 always crawls up really quickly, so really excited to get stuck into it.
Rounds 5 and 7 will see the 25-year-old return to Hobart and Launceston, and she'll no doubt be vying for the win in front of family and friends.
We'll see how we go.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
Good evening. 24 was the state's top today in Launceston, Burnie 23, 20 in Devonport and Hobart 19, 21 across Smithton and Bushy Park, Lowhead 20 and 17 in Strawn. On the close-up, areas of cloud across Tasmania with cloud increasing about central areas in the afternoon. Further out, cloud is seen across Queensland and New South Wales with embedded thunderstorms. Tomorrow, a cold front is approaching Tasmania from the west with a high to the southeast of the state. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow 10 to 20 knots, swells up to 3 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for the upper east coast, lower east coast and southwest coast. Tomorrow's forecast now, possible late showers across Hobart and Campania, Huonville 25. In the north, Launceston and Devonport partly cloudy, 21 in Georgetown. Burnie and Wynyard tomorrow, 21, showers increasing in Strawn. St Helens 23, partly cloudy in Swansea, and Port Arthur expecting a late shower or 2. The UV forecast is reaching extreme 11s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast, showers about the west and far south, fine and partly cloudy elsewhere for your Christmas Day. Sunday, showers about the west, far south and northeast. And Monday, fine apart from the chance of showers about the north and southwest. Capital cities, very hot and sunny in Perth tomorrow, reaching 39. Brisbane, showers and mostly sunny in Broome. And currently Hobart, mostly cloudy and 16, Launceston 18 and Devonport mostly sunny and 17. That's all in weather tonight, Kim.
Okay, thanks Jackie, and that is all we have time for tonight. Thanks for your company. On behalf of the entire team, good night.